Hello everyone. So in today's lecture we are going to learn why exactly we should learn React.js and what is React.js in general. So let's get started. React.js, you must have heard something called MERN Stack. What exactly is MERN Stack? So you must have heard it when you are applying for a full stack developer job or while discussing with friends that we must learn what MERN Stack. MERN Stack is something which is very common. Either you must have heard MERN, that stands for MongoDB, Express, React and Node, or you must have heard for something called mean, where A instead of React is Angular. Okay. Now, what is this exactly used for? Now, each and every company is looking for knowledge of MERN, and it is used for easier and faster deployment of full stack web application. So, whenever you are applying for a full stack web application, these are some basic requirements a company would require from you. So, if there is income that you're getting by learning React, why not we learn React? Okay.
पैसा ही पैसा होगा.
So let's know why and what exactly is React and why we must learn React. React is basically a JavaScript library which is declarative. Now what exactly declarative means? So you can tell React what you want and React will build the actual UI. It is efficient and flexible. That is, it efficiently handles updating and rendering of components. It is used to implement the view part of MVC. What exactly is MVC? MVC stands for Model View Controller. Model deals with the business data, view deals with your presentation layer, and controller connects the view with the model and the model with the view for each respective request. So when we talk about React, React is dealing with the view part of our MVC. It is a component-based library. React is basically a component-based library that is used to create any UI. And to create any UI, you have to use React.js components. How? I'll tell you now. Why is React so popular? These days, you must have heard that React is taking up and getting quite popular these days. So why so? I'll give you 5 such reasons that why React is very popular. Number 1, it provides a set of reusable components. What exactly are these? Now I'll give you an example. Let us consider you want to design a page. That page will have, say you are designing a home page using HTML, CSS, JavaScript, your basic web page designing knowledge. With that, you are designing a home page. Your home page will have, say, a header components, then main contents, and footer. All these UI components will have, for each respective UI, we'll have create a separate component. That is, header will have header component, main contents will have main component, footer will have footer component, home will have home component. Okay. Now imagine you want to develop another page. Okay. Say about page, and that about page has header component, footer component, and some other components in between, something like this. So this is our about page. It has that header component, footer component, and some other components. So header component we used in our home page as well. Footer was also used in home page. Why should we create it again? So when you are designing such pages using React, you can reuse these components in your other pages. That is our first benefit. Second benefit is it is a JavaScript library. Note, I am always saying it's a library. It's a JavaScript library and not a framework. React is not a framework. So you must always note this. How is it a benefit? It is a JavaScript library, correct, but how is it a benefit? We will have support from different browsers. When you make a web application using JavaScript, you have support for several browsers. And that is a benefit that will come along with JavaScript to React when you are developing applications in React. Then learning curve will be easy since you already know JavaScript. Proceeding from JavaScript to React would be comparatively easier than learning a new framework like Angular, which is also an alternative. Angular, Vue.js, React, these are alternatives which you can use. Third benefit is it uses virtual DOM. Now what exactly is virtual DOM? Virtual DOM is the in-memory representation of the actual DOM. When we say that we are creating a view, okay, I said we are working on the view part of the MVC. When we say we are working on the view, we are basically talking about creating the web application or web page. Okay, so we are referring to creating a web page or web application. And do you know the amount of traffic that would come in a web application? So the amount of traffic in a web application is unpredictable. If you've studied about big data, you would know the traffic that a web application is dealing with is unpredictable at any given time. So is the number of requests that the site will receive predictable? So answer is a big fat no, it is not, because number of requests on a website are not constant. Now if there are multiple changes needed to be done on the UI, then for each dataset change, is it flexible to access the actual DOM for each respective change? Answer, if you think, would again be no, because if we are doing multiple changes in the application and we want them to be available on the UI immediately, that is on the actual DOM, then what we can do is we can first make a change on the virtual DOM, then compare the virtual DOM to the actual DOM, and if there are any changes, then the actual DOM can be updated with the respective changes. So we can make changes first. It should be reflected on the virtual DOM. So there will be a new state that is created. Okay, a new state will be created, and at the end it reflects on the actual DOM. Actual DOM is compared to the virtual DOM, as I was saying, and on actual DOM, wherever changes are expected, it will be added. So benefit of this is that the changes that you are updating in real time, that will happen without reloading of the page. Okay, so this kind of thing would not happen, and reloading of the page would not occur. So that amount of time is also saved without you reloading the page. So this is another added benefit of React. Also, changes in data sets will be obtained by making asynchronous calls, so it will be faster and can increase performance of the application. Note, we simply change the state of our component and React will automatically update the DOM to match that state. That is why the name React, it signifies basically that React reacts to the state change and updates the DOM. So whenever there is a state change, React will react and update the DOM. Coming to the fourth benefit. The fourth benefit is it supports unidirectional flow of data. Now, what does that mean? To understand unidirectional flow of data, let us first understand what exactly is two-way flow of data. So what exactly is two-way flow of data? Example is our MVC. It is an example of two-way flow of data. Changes in components will be immediately reflected on the UI, and changes on the UI would be immediately reflected on the components. This kind of working is called two-way data flow. Now, another fact that you should know is React was developed by Facebook, and previously they were making use of MVC. So what was the problem that they faced? The problem that they faced was fields on the UI must be binded with properties in components. This basically creates an overhead for the developers. What is that? They need to keep a track of prop and field bindings whenever new view or model gets added to the application. So this keeping track was an overhead for the developers. What is the solution? Solution is one-way data flow. In this case, the flow is always from component to UI. Okay, and not the other way around. That is source to target. Changes in the component will always reflect on the UI, but changes on UI cannot be reflected directly onto the component. For reflecting the changes from UI to the component, developer should make use of something like event handling. Okay, now our virtual DOM, that is the third point, and fourth point, unidirectional data flow, these contribute to increase in the performance of the application. Coming to our fifth advantage of why we must use React, it uses JSX. JSX stands for a JavaScript extension. So it is basically a JavaScript extension that allows to add HTML as a part of JavaScript. Okay, because of this, rendering any complex UI from React component will be easy and faster. Now this is a chart where you can see comparison of React, the popularity of React in the previous years with respect to, so Facebook React is given in green color, that is this is React, and its popularity in the previous years in comparison to Angular and Vue.js. This is how popular it is, and Facebook has now shifted its entire application using React, which makes it more fast and stable. That is how important it is in today's day, and that's how important companies consider React. So learning React in today's date is a very good skill to have, and that would be beneficial for each one of us. Thank you very much.
If you like the video you just saw, please consider hitting the like button and letting us know. Also, subscribe to our channel and share the video with your friends. Stay awesome and see you next time.